Well, hello everyone, Dan Hurd, Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. I'm back here at the Blue Chip Mine to do a little bit of prospecting to see if I can find some of the treasures I am looking for at this spot. Specifically, gold, wire gold on quartz. I don't know what I'm gonna find. I haven't actually been up to the site where I'm gonna do the digging, but let's hope it's all good. Wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy. So this is my first trip into the Blue Chip Mine here since my heart surgery. In fact, this is my first trip out prospecting in general since my heart surgery. I am doing well. I'm doing well enough that I can get out here and do this kind of stuff, but I'm doing it very slowly, very carefully. I'm doing probably, you know, a quarter day's worth of work in a full day because I'm taking it slow. You can see my beard is growing back. I'm getting back to beard. I like it. But as I said, I'm going slow. So I only plan to do one little job here, a job that I've been planning to do at this mine for quite some time, but other bigger things have always sort of taken precedence. Today, I've got a certain little spot on the vein that has shown me big gold, and I know the gold I found has come from the quartz vein as I'm breaking it apart. Today I hope to see if I can find some on quartz still, some of those bigger pieces. But I'm not working too hard. I'm letting my heart heal. Let's go. Now, before I do any digging or prospecting, investigating, I always like to go and check out all the different sites at the mine and make sure, you know, everything is nice and good, clean, hasn't been any claim jumpers or people leaving messes. And I like to see sort of what's new, what the weather has exposed that it hasn't before. See if there's anything that catches my eye. So far, everything's looking pretty good. Pretty much the way I left it. This is one spot here that I do need to investigate more in the future, and maybe my next trip here I'll do that. I need to take the ground level down a foot or two, maybe starting from back there, dig in, because this here, that vein and this wall is where I found a lot of visible gold sitting on the quartz. Sitting on the quartz, actually in the quartz. So I want to see if down lower, maybe we find something more exciting. But that's another trip. Oh, I just slipped and fell, and it was scary. I'm sitting back, I'm taking it easy, letting my heart rate come down. I am still healing, this is not good. Unfortunately, I slipped and fell down one of the steepest hills at the mine. I didn't go very far. I caught myself before I went too far. You can see my cell phone is still on the ground down there where I stopped myself. Fell out of my pocket. But that's a long ways down if I didn't stop myself. Oh. I'm trying to take it easy today. Trying not to hurt myself. Crazily enough, I slipped and fell because my shoelace came undone, and I stood on my own shoelace. I'm okay. Now, while we're on the topic of keeping me safe, this is the absolute most dangerous time of the year to be around one of these old underground mines, these old adits. And that's because late winter, early spring, when the weather has got to the point where it freezes every night and thaws every day, the water that gets in the cracks of the rocks, the water that seeps in, freezes and thaws over and over and over again, which wedge rocks apart. This is the time of year where rocks inside there on the ceiling fall. And because of that, I won't be going inside today. In fact, even around the outside here, right here can be dangerous because all of these overhanging rocks have all been wedged by water. This is not necessarily the safest place to be this time of year. Late summer, no worries. all of that action is stopped for the year and it's much more safe to go inside. But right now, even though there's crystals in there that I want to go collect, I'll wait until summer for that. Already had one close call today, don't need another. So my goal today is to clean off this entire shelf, all the way from here, all the way back. That there is the gold-bearing seam, the gold-bearing quartz seam. I have actually worked that seam a fair bit and found some pretty nice pieces of gold at it. So one of the things that I haven't done though is really done a good job of clearing off all of the little debris that has fallen from all the workings over the years on this shelf. I've got the vacuum cleaner today. I'm gonna scrape it all down with a shovel, put it all in a bucket, and then I'm gonna vacuum it all off so it's perfectly clean. So I don't have to think every time I come back to this place, I wonder what I missed there. Now in this quartz vein, I have already found one piece of wire gold. It wasn't attached to quartz, it was just free. And I found a few pieces of gold still attached to quartz. My goal is to hopefully find a piece of wire gold that's still in the host rock or attached to a piece of quartz. That would be ideal. Oops, there goes the vacuum. It's the day of falling. Probably asking yourself, Dan, what are you gonna do with this when it's got in the bucket? Or trying to ask me, Dan, what are you gonna do with this when you get in the bucket? I'm gonna take this bucket home to process it or back to the shop, because I want to do a few things, including, you know, sifting out in different sizes, checking out the powder versus the bigger rocks versus the, you know, chunks of quartz that are in there, and possibly even dissolving some of those bigger pieces of quartz in a light acid to take the rust off the surface to see if it's hiding the gold. But there's one bucket full. I'm not filling them right to the top because I still have to carry them down the hill, and I'm taking it easy today. My vacuum went for a bit of a ride. Good thing it didn't go way down the hill. I must have bumped it. It was sitting right there. I must have bumped it. It fell way down there. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully one of those pieces has visible gold on it. The iron, the mineralization here has been too much for my metal detectors, and I haven't been able to tell the difference between gold and the pyrrhotite that's around. Pyrrhotite sets off a metal detector just like it is gold, so at least this stuff has. So I'm back to the visual method of finding the gold, not metal detectors. Time to take the vacuum cleaner and start sucking it up. So there we go, nice and clean. If I wanted to get cleaner than that, I would have to actually go and actually wash it down with water, which there's water just inside the adit, but as I said, I don't feel that comfortable going inside right now. So I have got this all vacuum cleaned, all nice and vacuumed. Ran out of battery in the vacuum, but I'm basically done. And it is good to go. I'm gonna carry some of this stuff back to the truck, well, back to the quad. Then I think I'm gonna bring out the chisel and see if I can break off that chunk of quartz that's sitting right there, just to show you a fresh break inside the seam, show you what inside this one looks like. Okay, let's see if we can give you a shot of what this quartz vein looks like inside by breaking off a bit of the outside here. Oops. Don't want the spinning on for this, I just want to break it. There we go. There's a piece coming off. Ooh, maybe. There is the vein. Okay, you can see it's mostly quartz. We have a little bit of sulfides down here. Might be a bit of sphalerite down there. There's a little tiny bit of zinc around here, and that kind of looks like it. And we got some pyrites. That there, that chunk of black, is the pyrrhotite. That pyrrhotite sets off metal detectors just like it was a chunk of gold. Unfortunately, that's what keeps metal detectors from working here. It's also the stuff that when it oxidizes, it turns into the rust that's forming on everything here. My hope is that I find a piece of wire gold in one of these little tiny pockets. And one of the reasons why I think I can is the old timer that put me onto this mine, who mined it back in the 60s, said he found some little pockets like that that had wire gold inside them. And that's my goal for a nice collector specimen from the mine. I will be taking this piece home with me to clean up, see what it looks like, and who knows, someone get a piece of blue chip mine ore. That's a nice piece. let's get a few more. And there we go. We got a whole bunch more pieces for me to put into my ore bags from the blue chip mine. I sell pay dirt bags from blue chip mine, and it was sort of running a little bit low on quartz pieces. So I crushed up a bunch of that, and we'll put that in the bags. Hard rock mining. Maybe the only hard rock pay dirt there is out there. I can't think of any more. Into the bucket it goes. Hey, it's the silhouette of Dan Hurd. This has kind of been nice taking it easy. I got my work done like an hour ago, and now I'm just sort of wandering around doing some little minor prospecting, you know, grabbing rocks, breaking them open, seeing what I can see, checking out the quartz vein, looking at where the quartz vein strike might go. Basic prospecting stuff. Stuff that I often don't get a chance to do because I have hard work that I'm planning on doing. So this is kind of nice taking it easy here today. Haven't tried to hurt myself again. Don't want to fall down there. That would suck. But I'm having a great time. And learning a little bit about my claim too. I have the quad with me today. I might even go and buzz around some of the roads and see what else I can see in the area. I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to track the vein. That's where I was working over there. We know the vein comes up here. We know it pinches off to almost nothing right here. Then we lose it. It disappears into that rock slide. We have done a bunch of work here. We actually ran a whole bunch of material with a high banker out of here and got lots of great gold, but we haven't been able to find the seam again. I dug one little hole down there where I figured the seam should sort of come through. Couldn't get down to anything. Dug down through here to see if it came up to the surface at all. Couldn't find it there. Around the corner, we see it again. The seam is right here. It goes right through there and disappears back under the rock slide. So we know it goes right through. We've played around a bunch up there. I went and poked around a bit, didn't see anything new that excites me. But I know the seam goes down below where we've been poking around. Maybe someday it'll be worth going over there somewhere, clearing the bank and seeing if I can find the seam again. I know I've never done it, but if I do walk around this bluff into the little creek valley that's over there, there's supposedly a fourth adit that I've never found because I've never gone around the treacherous knoll into the creek valley. One day I plan to do that. Anyhow, having fun. Having fun. What a beautiful winter's day. Something I have to investigate more someday is this big pile and that big pile of dirt. I don't know where it came from. I'm not sure if it's natural or if it's, you know, left over from old miners, but it is loaded in little fragments of quartz. Everywhere you look, there's fragments of quartz, which could be natural weathering that brought that in here, or it could be, you know, miners dumping stuff that they've processed. Either way, this material could possibly have gold in it. I'd love to bring the high banker up here, pump out of the adit, and, you know, run a yard of this stuff and see if there is quantities of gold in this, because there's hundreds of yards of it. There's so much. Here, big bench of it, another big lump of it, and it doesn't look natural. So I don't know what it is, but someday that's worth investigating. Lots and lots of water in the number 2 adit. If we want to run anything, we could run high bankers or anything like that for days on what's in there. And it's just flowing in like mad. And there's the quartz seam at the number 2 adit. No lack of quartz around here, that's for darn sure. Look at that, you have like the main seam, a secondary seam, a third, a fourth. There's like seams everywhere, but there is definitely the main one. Something else I should do someday is sort of track that main seam that way and see if there's any other, you know, indications of it, workings. Although, you know, looking at strike, it seems to go down underground real quick. The only place I might find it is where it comes out the side of the far mountain, if it went that far. Anyhow, I don't know if I'm going to include the results of my tests in here or if I'm going to put that as its own video. I guess you'll know if you see pictures of gold right here, right now. If you don't, I'm signing off from Blue Chip Mine. I had a wonderful time here. It was so nice to get out prospecting. I took it easy. I didn't hurt myself, but damn close. And it's sure nice seeing the light at the end of this recovery tunnel. I'm not recovered yet, but I'm getting there, and I'm able to get out and do this stuff. Sure hope you all enjoyed. Big thanks to my patrons out there. Your support, especially through my sort of rough time here, has been very helpful. And thanks for everyone's well wishes and everything else through my recovery. My fans are awesome. Until the next video, everyone.